we are inundated so fucking constantly with negative news, with horrible atrocities, that we are compassionately empty. We have no or very little further compassion to give. It's not that we don't care, it's that we are exhausted. And this is the part that I want you to specifically hear. What I focus on instead, it's going to sound selfish at first, but I will tell you why this is really important. Welcome to the Manifesting Millions podcast, where we talk about manifestation, money, and practical guidance to creating your dream reality. My name is Amy Van Meel, and I am an experienced coach and transformation guide, obsessed with helping you get out of your own way and create a life that blows your mind each day you wake up. My goal in this podcast is to share practical manifestation, self-awareness, and growth techniques in real talk conversations. So if you're ready to massively transform your reality, your finances, your relationships, and your overall enjoyment of life, you are in the right place. I am absolutely delighted that you're here with me today, babe. Let's get into it. Oh my goodness. Hello and welcome to the Manifesting Millions podcast. I am your hostess with the mostest, Amy. I'm super delighted to be here with you today. All my warmest greetings from a very cold, frigid Calgary. I think when I last looked outside, it was like minus 21 Celsius. That's also really fucking cold, and whatever it is in Fahrenheit for those of you south of the 49th. I don't know what it translates to in Fahrenheit. I just know it's cold AF, okay? So I'm in all the warm, cozy clothes. I think my car cries a little when it has to leave the garage. Like, why? Why do we have to go outside? And in one of the weird things that happens when it gets this cold, of course, we get ice and like condensation on the windows when that happens. So I'm on fan rotating duty in our house during the day to make sure that that ice thaws out and our windows stay healthy and we have a good home for the long term. My brain is also very deep into all things interior design. So if you're new to the podcast, or you just may not know this because I don't think I talk about it a lot in the podcast, I am an interior designer. I've been doing design work forever. I had two design businesses, one in Winnipeg, one in Calgary. I had my business in Calgary for 6 years. I closed that business back in, I think it was 2020, and have just been honestly very much enjoying doing other things. But I have been picking up some design work again. Some of it's just sort of arrived on my door like, hey, Amy, we really want to do this. Can you please help us make it happen? And I'm not actively promoting that I'm doing design. Like I'm not building a business behind it, but it's kind of fun to get back into the mix a little bit. Today I got to go, I wandered into a granite supplier and just got to wander the aisles of these giant slabs of this gorgeous, gorgeous stone from all over the world, a lot of it from Italy. And there is something so grounding about being by these giant slabs of rock. It was very cool. So it's kind of an interesting space because I feel a little out of practice, if I'm being very honest, between you and I. But here we are. So my brain feels a little bit split at different times, and I'm trying to align my days to be able to be functional in all the different things, right? Do great work as a designer, really make sure that I've got some fun plans ahead for this year for this business, for my coaching, for the online programs. Thankfully, I've got the schedule all set out, which is great. So I know when my launch dates are going to be this year. heads up, you're going to hear some promo sponsors that are it's just going to be a thing as part of the podcast from now on, which I think is better than me just blathering on at different times of like, hey, by the way, this thing is for sale now. There will be only 2 launch windows this year for the money program. It's also going through a bit of a revamp. I have not announced this publicly yet, so this is between like you and me. Okay, so like just getting super close here. Um, so I will reveal the new name, which I think is going to be more aligned with better recognition for what the program actually is, but I think will also help tell the story of what the program can do better. And one of the things that it's been on my heart actually for a while, and it's just been in the process of getting some clarity behind it. I want to um, make the program portable. So currently it is a mix of video and like written. What is that? Just written. Like, so you can watch videos, but like 1 or 2 of the sections are just simply typed out like words on the page. So you would read through the page. And all of that, you can find it, you can watch it, listen to it, whatever on your phone. But my platform actually has an option to do a private podcast feed. So I will be, I believe, I feel a little nervous like telling you this out loud. I will be re-recording the entire program. And I'll actually talk about that maybe a little further down the road, like in a week or 2. But I'll be re-recording it so that I can get the audio, really good quality audio, and then getting it all in the private podcast feed. And the great news is you would get both. So you get all the access through the videos, with the slides, with the text, with everything. So if you're a visual learner, or you want to be able to like hear me say the words while also reading the words on the screen, that is still going to be available for you. But also, I know a lot of people are probably like me, where you learn on the go, right? I learn on the treadmill, I learn on the bike, I learn when I'm driving somewhere. So the private podcast feed is going to support that really beautifully. So stay tuned. I'm very excited about it. And that's all going to be just included in the main program. So I will let you know that enrollment opens March 7th. It'll be a short window. It's going to be March 7th through the 10th is going to be the enrollment window for my signature money program. And then the next enrollment period is not until like the very near to end of the year. So yeah, I am a person who thrives on transparency and honesty. And candidly, that probably like doesn't work in my favor sometimes when it comes to marketing, because I guarantee there's a few of you that have just heard me go, oh, so she's going to open it again at the end of the year. I'll sign up then. And of course, that's not what marketing is. We want you to take action now. But I want you to know your options. So I will say this, and this is the last thing I'm going to say before I dive into what I want to talk about today. I expect that there will be a change in the enrollment investment between the March window and the like later this year window. So if you want to take advantage of a price that like is still well priced, but it's been on my heart that I actually think it needs to align into a slightly higher price, then March is your window and it will never be that price again. So don't wait any longer. All right. And this isn't the podcast sponsor, I know, but like we're talking about it now. If you want to get on the wait list, if you aren't yet, go to amyvanmeel.com/money. The link is in the show notes, of course, and you can get on the wait list. All right, let's get into today. We're going to keep today short, partly because it's 5 o'clock and I still have a bunch of emails to send off for the design side of my life. And because like, I just want to keep it short. My intent and my goal this year for this podcast is to keep it high quality. I always want to make sure I'm bringing you the best as much as possible, like in my content, in the guests that I bring on. But I also want to challenge myself to make the length of the episodes a little more approachable. So keep them sort of the 15 to 20 minutes, maybe 30 at the most. Something that's like a good walk or a short drive across town that you can take it in and then like carry on with your day. Hey, babe, I had to just quickly pop into this podcast episode and let you know that this episode is sponsored by my transformational money program. You may have heard me talk about it before, but I wanted to let you know that the waitlist is now open and the next enrollment period, there will only be 2 this year. So you will only have 2 chances to get your buns into this absolutely amazing experience where we completely revolutionize your experience with money, your knowledge with money, and I show you how you can easily shift over time to create this absolutely amazing, wealthy AF life and reality with money. The doors are opening March 7th, so mark your calendars. But in the meantime, to make sure that you don't miss a moment of it, get your buns on the wait list by going to amyvanmeal.com/money. So, I have no notes for today. This is a no notes day. Welcome to No Notes. What is that from? Oh, it's from New Girl. I'm like, there's a reason that came up. I'm going to just talk candidly about January and I'm going to dovetail that into today's learning. January was a shit show. In my life, January was a shit show. So, to put a little context around this, the last time I actually sat down to record a podcast episode, like this, what I'm doing right now, where I'm actually sitting with a microphone and like the whole episode is laid out in front of me that I need to record. The last time I did that was like the first week of December. I have not sat down to record a podcast episode since. So if you've been listening to part 1, 2, and 3 of my interview with Jessica Sudine, by the way, how great was that? I did record, of course, the intro and the extra to that. Outro, not the extra. Whatever. You know what I meant. But like the actual episode itself was pre-recorded. My episode with Courtney, same thing, was pre-recorded. It was recorded back in like, I think early December or end of November. That was very much by design. I knew that coming out of December, I wanted to give myself some runway to get back into the swing of things. And oh my goodness, past Amy and the universe was seriously looking out for me. We had an amazing 2 weeks over the holidays. I realize that it's February. You're like, why are you talking to me about the holidays, Amy? Because I haven't sat down with you for a while. That's why. So we did a lot of traveling. We spent 4 or 5 days up by Edmonton area in Alberta with my husband's family. That was super amazing. He has 2 brothers. One lives in Edmonton, one lives in Toronto. Everybody was home. Excuse me. We were all together. And that's the first time that's happened in a very long time. So it was very cool to have that time together. Then we jetted home, like it's a 3-hour drive. So we scooted home from Edmonton to Calgary. We spent 2 nights at home, 1 day in the middle to completely like wash our clothes, figure out our groceries, reset the car. And then we loaded the Subaru back up and we headed east and we spent, it's a 12-hour drive. Actually, it was approaching 13 by the time we like added stops for food and stuff. 13-hour drive from Calgary to my hometown where I grew up. And we spent 4 full days, but like call it 5 days. We arrived in the evening, we left in the morning, so like 5 days in Manitoba, visiting with my family. And the theme for this year was like everybody all together all at the same time. So my siblings are also spread out all over. I have a sibling in Manitoba. I have one in Ontario. I have a sibling in the Netherlands. We were all back at the same time for a similar duration. So we got to spend lots of time together. I came back. Oh my gosh, I came home with so many bruises because we went tobogganing twice. There's a reason, I guess, that you don't do a lot of tobogganing in your 40s. I had forgotten, but I had a crap ton of fun tobogganing with my niece and nephew, and then my sisters and my brother. Like, it was just a ton of fun. And then while we were out there, a family who is very close to me, sort of like my adopted family, all 3 of them also happened to be all together on the one day that I had a window to visit and like reached out to say, hey, is anybody around? So we got to hang out with them, and that was just really amazing. So we drove back on like the coldest fucking day, the Friday, right after New Year's. It was like we left, it was minus 29 in the morning. We made it to Swift Current, which is like a 6 hour drive. It was still minus 26. It was just fucking cold. But the whole drive back home, my husband and I were talking about how amazing our last 2 weeks have been and just how wonderful it's been to be able to spend time with family and actually connect with family. And I know so often, the joke is like, ugh, it's your family, like who wants to hang out with them? But we don't spend a ton of time with our families just because we aren't like right next door. Um, and for the most part, we get along pretty well, all of us. So it's really great when we get to spend time together. Then on the Saturday, we had planned a super chill day. Oh my gosh. The freedom and wonderfulness of just waking up in your own bed, knowing you don't have to pack the car or do anything or go anywhere was amazing. And then on the Sunday, we were going skiing and we were there first thing in the morning, which was super great. Both super excited. And that's where things started to take a little bit of a turn. If you were like, I knew it. I knew there was something that happened. So the short version is we found out just as we were clicking into our skis to get our first run up the mountain that my husband's dad had been admitted to the hospital the night before. 90 minutes later, we were told that he had passed away. To say that we were in shock would be putting it mildly. I won't go down the route of all the things. The short version is he's had some health challenges over the years. And we could see his health was in decline, but I don't think anybody thought that, especially after the amazing time we had together over the holidays, that anything was wrong to this degree. So it really surprised the family and put a completely different spin onto January. At the same time, my dad was going through some stuff, so I had already been like kind of bolstering, readying for January, knowing that there's going to be a call for some emotional support on my part to like support my dad going through some things. At the same time, so now all this kind of happened. The U.S. election baloney, what's going on? Oh my gosh. January just felt like it was a dumpster on fire. I'm like, what is going on? Why? I had such hope and promise for this month. I was in full, like, make it through kind of mode. Um, so we had 3 weeks of time between when my father-in-law passed away before his celebration of life. I put together a video memorial. It's something that I've done in the past. It's something that I love to do because it's like a really wonderful way to capture someone's life and also for me to process. But it does take a tremendous amount of time and effort, of course. At the same time, I'm trying to support my husband who's just lost his dad. I'm trying to support my dad who's going through things. I'm trying to spool up some design projects that are coming my way, and we have some timelines kind of in mind, right? So I can't just like sit on my laurels, and I'm also trying to plan my business, and I'm trying to exercise, and I'm trying to eat, and like it was just a lot. So I am super grateful that past Amy and the universe had my back so hard in January because oh my gosh, I had nothing extra to sit down. For those of you who are on my newsletter list, I apologize that I haven't sent anything, but I don't think I've sent anything for it's probably not 2 months yet, but like I think we're at 6 weeks. I had no jam in me to write anything, and I just all of this work, my podcast, my programs, my social media presence, my emails, it all comes from overflow. I don't ever want you to be getting tired, ragged, boring, gross energy from me. I want you to get the very best from me. And in order to give you my very best, it does mean that at times I need to prioritize myself. And for me, what that looks like is I honestly just kind of disappear. I pull into myself, I quietly do whatever needs to be done. So, like in this case, I was creating the memorial. I was making sure that like getting our house back in order. Oh my gosh, that was a big thing because we'd spent so much time traveling And then thinking, okay, now the traveling is done. Well, time had a different idea because now we had 2 additional weekends that we were traveling up to Edmonton to be with my husband's family. Um, like it just sort of changed, and I can't create out of lack, out of um like there's I talk about this somewhere. It's sorry, I will get my brain together, I promise you. A friend coined the term for me one time, and I think this example exists inside my money program. Coined the term teacup energy. And when I think about everything that I create for you, it is from teacup energy. So what that means is think about a cup and saucer, right? Those beautiful teacups. They're absolutely like stunning. My mother-in-law has one. My husband's aunt has not one, has a bunch. Like they're beautiful. Teacup energy is saucer energy is the all the energy that goes into the teacup. That energy is for you. So that cup, if it's anything less than completely full, all of the energy goes into you. And I would just add as a tiny caveat, like there's a bit of energy draw for those who are super close to you. So if you're a mom, or you have like dependents, whatever that looks like, of course, they're going to get some of your teacup energy. Your spouse is going to get some of your teacup energy, but like the vast majority, I'm going to say 95% of teacup energy is meant to be for you. And that's actually super important. Then we have saucer energy. So if you were to imagine that you were pouring tea into this beautiful teacup and you poured it to the point of overflowing. So now you have tea spilling over the sides of this cup and flowing into the saucer that sits below the cup. That overflow, that's the energy that everybody else gets. So when I sit down to record a podcast, that's saucer energy. When I am creating programs, that's saucer energy. When I am even things like creating the memorial for my father-in-law, that's a little bit of teacup and also saucer energy. But the point is, it's coming from overflow. My cup is already full, and I'm not drawing on that reserve in order to create something for you. And it's super important. It's definitely important to me to make sure that that's how I approach all of my work, because that's the best kind of energy. It's the kind of energy that just like feels so magnetic. It feels good to be around. It's something that you want more of. It's the kind of energy that everybody's like, how does she do it all? And you're like, spoiler alert, she fills her own cup first. That's how she does it all. It's really that simple. I know the world doesn't want you to know that, but I will keep saying this and shouting it from the rooftops until the day I die, and possibly even after. Stay tuned. So that's teacup and saucer energy. So everything that I create comes out of saucer energy. Oops. Oh yeah, sorry. Did I mention a couple podcasts ago that I'm still figuring out my new iPhone? It's not new anymore. I should have this shit figured out, but I still don't. I'm getting there. What was my train of thought? Saucer energy. So January was basically like full shutdown for me for anything that was, I don't want to say extra. How do I describe it? Anything that was like more than the most pressing matters. Okay. Groceries have to be done. Laundry has to be done. Spending time with family, super important at this time. Showing up for family, really important, right? Like I can't just like shut down and not be around for anybody. I can, but thankfully it wasn't that dire. But everything extra, it went on a hard stop. And I just had to trust. This is the hardest part. The hardest part when we're in it, and I'm saying this to myself as much as I am to you, the hardest part is that when we are in it, we're in the muck, we're in the fucking dark void, we're like, fuck me, can this get worse? And like at the same time, like, oh God, please don't let it get worse. The hardest part is remembering that at some point it will go away. and you will feel better, and you will have energy, and you will be able to operate from saucer energy again, and you will create, and your business will be fine, and your clients will understand, and everything will work out. But that's really fucking hard to hold on to when you are in the muck. And our brains, I'm very fascinated with this. I'm just unendingly fascinated by the brain and like how everything works. Our brain wants so much to, for some reason, tell us that like if we don't do this, all of this is going to go sideways. If I don't send an email all the time, my list is going to, like, people are going to be mad. If I don't do a fresh podcast all the time, then like my podcast is going to go down. If like whatever, if I'm not on social media all the time, then I'm not going to grow my following. Like all of those things. Listen up, ladies. Are you tired of being told to be confident like a man? To be confident but not brash? To be compelling but not too talkative? To take up space but not too much? It is exhausting and impossible to follow the rules of the game that are supposed to help us show up more authentically, to feel more confident, and to be seen and valued in our work, because the rules of the game were never written for women. I am tired of this, and so I have got a game-changing workshop coming your way in early 2025. It is all about unlocking your authentic feminine confidence, the kind that naturally attracts promotions, raises, recognition, respect, without needing to practice gross male cocky energy or feeling like you're putting on a mask. Imagine feeling grounded and secure as you add your voice to the next group meeting. Imagine naturally attracting in recognition, respect, and opportunities. Imagine how good it will feel to own your voice, to share your power, and not spend the days afterwards worrying that you came across as too strong, too bossy, or too much. That's the power of true confidence, and I want to show you how to embody it. This workshop will be hosted live in early 2025, and the time is now to get on the waitlist. Don't miss out on early bird registration and insider discounts that will only be shared with folks who have put their name on the waitlist. So join the waitlist now by going to amyvanmeel.com/confidence. It is time to stand in your power, babe. It is time to shine in your career. Sign up to the waitlist today. And I did what was needed. So I wanted to make sure there was still content flowing out, which is why I made sure that those episodes with Jess and with Courtney were still flowing out. It was really important to me to make sure that you're getting really good content, especially as the year was spooling up, and definitely like extra, especially considering just the world being just a fucking shit show for like 4 weeks for sure. I don't know if it's corrected. I've just stopped caring and I've stopped paying attention, to be very candid. I will try my best to come back to that because I have a thought on that. But anything extra had to go. So it's hard to remember in those moments that it will come back and everything will be fine and your audience will understand and your clients will understand and your boss will understand and it will be okay. So I just want to share that. What was the other thing that I wanted to talk about? I don't know, but I'm going to come back to the one that I was just saying I'll put a pin in it. Okay. I want to very quickly have a very short little chat about events in the world and our energy and response to it. Okay? I promise you this is going to be different than probably anything you've heard before. You're welcome. Let's get into it. So, a couple weeks ago, I was listening to a teacher that I follow, and they were talking about, I think it was on their podcast, doesn't matter. They were talking about how we generally, I'm going to butcher this, but basically that we're like super selfishly focused. They were much better at saying it than this. I just want to get the base point across. We're super selfishly focused, right? We live in our heads and we are basically all about ourselves. And that instead of expressing love and compassion for people who are hurting, We express pity, um, and like a sense of, oh, I'm so glad it's not me that's experiencing that. Now, you could listen to this podcast episode any fucking time from now until the world ceases to exist, and this will apply. Okay. I understand that in January we had the fires in California. I understand that, like, in the summertime, it's always the fires in BC, here in Canada. I know there's tornadoes and there's floods and there's hurricanes and there's political unrest and there's like, it goes on and on and on and on. And I think I've said before that this is a fascinating fact that I want to dig into a little further some other time, but that something like we are exposed to more negative news in one day today than we ever have been like in our entire lifetime prior to like 1900, I think. Um, I'm probably not getting that totally correct, but anyway, there's a big reason why I disconnect from news. Okay. I just don't pay attention. Now, here's the other thing, and this is the part that I've struggled with internally. I have a really big heart. I want to just love on everybody. And also, I take on a tremendous, oh my gosh, a tremendous amount of emotional weight. When I see, when I hear about, people losing their homes or a hurricane coming through or political unrest or whatever, it could be anything. I don't even love, my husband is fascinated with like, not fat, that's the wrong word, not fascinated with the Ukraine war, like fascinated with the war, but like, um, he's very intrigued on the tactics and like how it seems to be working. My What I receive every time when he's, and it doesn't matter, it's not him, but like anybody's talking about like, I'm going to use the Ukrainian war as just as an example. When, Ukraine has this really amazing, um why is the word escaping my brain? It will come to me, but like whatever tactic that is in response, and like it takes out X number of Russian platoons, right? And it's like, yeah, that's super great. And look, don't get me wrong. There are many places in the world where the people who are being killed as a result of conflicts such as these are doing atrocious things. I understand that. And also, where my heart immediately goes is these are also somebody's son. They are somebody's brother. They are somebody's husband. They are somebody's cousin. That person was important to somebody. And now there is a person in the world who is suffering through a loss. And again, all the, like, where do I want to go with this? All the bad actions of people, like, notwithstanding, okay? Totally get there's some real shysters in the world, and I'm probably with you where you're like, wouldn't it just be better if they were just dead, though? Yes, and also, in a more general sense, my heart goes out to the people who are suffering through the losses. And that's a conversation I have actually very often with my husband. When I was listening to this teacher a week or two ago talking about how we lack compassion, um, and we're so selfishly focused, I wanted to like stand up and argue with them. I'm like, I don't think that we're operating in a space of lacking compassion. I actually think we are operating in a space of compassion exhaustion. I think my jellies tell me that we are inundated so fucking constantly with negative news, with horrible atrocities, that we are compassionately empty. We have no or very little further compassion to give. That's just it. It's not that we don't care, it's that we are exhausted. And now I will add, and this is the part that I want you to specifically hear. So, this person was talking about the fact that like when we think of, so we'll use the fires as an example because there's been shit burning everywhere for like quite a while, I feel like. So let's talk about, pick any geographical location where there is a fire, okay? When we think about people, we often, like in those situations, what this person was saying is that often our thoughts are, oh man, that's really like, that's so hard. That must really suck. I can't imagine losing my whole home and like just having to run away. And like that would just be terrible. And correct, that is pity. While there is, of course, a part of my brain that will have that response when I hear bad news, what I focus on instead, I am a huge believer in energy. Obviously, it's like integral to the work that I do. And also, I've just seen it happen over and over again. And there's been countless studies that have been like proving how amazing and how potent and how accurate sending energy to a person, a situation, an event can be. Okay. I'm not going to get into all the science and the research behind it right now. Just know that it's really fucking powerful. When I hear some kind of bad news, okay, pick anything. There is, of course, a short, moment in time where my brain goes, oh my gosh, that's so terrible. It's very quickly, or like it might be preceded by or very quickly followed by, oh my God, here's more fucking things going wrong in the world. So if it's some like news leak that somehow happened to like maybe the radio DJ was talking about it or a friend is talking about it or whatever, and very quickly shut that leak down because I do not need negative energy to expand in my life or in my brain. Thank you very much. We are not available for that. What I do instead, so it's going to sound selfish at first, but I will tell you why this is really important. So I take a moment. This takes seconds, okay? It's not long. It doesn't need to be long. It's all energy. I take a moment. If I'm driving, I keep my eyes open, but if I'm anywhere else that I can close my eyes, I close my eyes. I close my eyes. I just connect into my heart. I imagine my heart connecting into source, which is always in my vision. It's always above me. Okay. So it's like connecting into the astros. And I envision this giant column of love coming from source into my heart and just like filling up my heart and filling up me and like expanding into my aura around me and the energy around me. And this could take me 3 seconds. Okay. I envision this column of love coming in because remember, we cannot serve from an empty cup. So I always ensure that I am calling in clean, wonderful, boundless, unconditional love into myself, filling my cup, bringing it to overflowing. And then as I see this column of love and light that is like literally directly connected from source into me, it's kind of like, imagine there's like this net, right? Like the cosmos is like this, like, well, it is a net around the world, but like imagine there's this net around the world. So you've plugged in, right? I have this power cord from my heart up into the cosmos, which again is like above my head in my vision. And then across this like arc that spans all the way around the world, I see these columns of love come down. I simply just envision this love. I ask for love to be delivered to the people in that situation, in that event, in that experience, whatever. I just envision that love pours down into them and whatever like the best possible thing for that person is going to come about. I intend and sort of, how do I say this? Like, I'm trying to think of like, I can see it, but I'm trying to think, how do I say the words for it? I imagine that this person, whatever they're doing, I don't know who this person is. I have no idea where they are, what they're doing, what they look like, what gender they are. I don't know any of those things, but I just imagine, and I always see it as a single person because of course your brain can't envision like millions of people, feeling this moment of love just dropping into their heart. And maybe they're not consciously aware of it. And the purpose of this is not for them to be consciously aware of it. They don't have to be. But like maybe at that exact moment in time, they're driving and they've been having a frustrating drive, and all of a sudden, like, traffic just opens up in front of them. Maybe they're in the grocery line and all of a sudden, like, their bill is 20% less than what they thought it was. Maybe this is a person who, just lost their home or is like trying to figure something like super heavy like that out, and something really amazing just like opened up for them. It doesn't matter. I don't need to envision specifics. I don't envision specifics. All I see is that I've connected into this like unconditional, unlimited, just boundless love. I make sure that it connects into my heart first and fills me up. And then I see it supercharging and coming across the network and dropping into the situation, the experience, a person, whatever it is. And all I'm sending them is clean, pure, unconditional, boundless love. It is a way stronger, way more, I don't want to say better, way more helpful, I guess, maybe, way of thinking about things. And it does not drain your capacity for compassion. So I'm going to end it here because I realize we're like 38 minutes, probably a little longer by the time I get this podcast sponsor stuff in there. I promise to keep this short. I have really missed you, okay? I know that this is kind of a one-way conversation where I get to just say whatever the fuck I want, and you either get to listen to me or not. But like, I really love this container of space where I get to sit down at the microphone and share from my heart to yours and just allow universe and source to flow through me and create something amazing for you. I've really missed you. So thank you for being with me here today. I don't like the word hope. I believe, it's a much stronger word. I believe that what I've shared today is in some way profoundly impacting your life, even if you can't see it or feel it, or even envision it right now. Okay. Every time I sit down to the mic, I want to do my very best to serve you, to bring you the best possible insights and content and some fun and some brevity. And like, life is not something to be endured. Life is something to be experienced, to be rested through, to whatever. I could wax poetic about it. And also if I'm being realsies with you, there are days that life is just to be endured. I've definitely had those days. OMG, let's not have more of them. Thank you very much. But I just want you to know that I love you. I really love spending this time with you. I sincerely hope and intend that those of you who are ready to take your experience with money to a whole new level, to create wealth in every possible way. We talk about money, but I also talk about time freedom, decision freedom. I talk about confidence. I talk about lots of different ways of creating wealth in your life. I really hope that like I will see you inside the program. And again, enrollment opens March 7th, but it's a short window. It's centered around International Women's Day. That was very much on purpose because it's a program about money for ladies, by ladies. I hope to see you inside. So get on the wait list if you're not there yet. It's amyvanmeal.com/money. And that's it. Now I need to go make some dinner, actually, is what needs to happen. So I'm now just into my rambling mode. I am going to click stop. Have an amazing week. Bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you loved what you heard today, be sure to share it with me by leaving a review on your favorite podcast platform and help me reach more like-minded people who are ready to expand their life. If you haven't yet followed me on social media, find me on Instagram for extra love and inspiration by following @AmyVanMeal or visit my website at amyvanmeal.com. I love you so much, babe, and I am damn proud of you. I am already excited to connect in the next episode. And in the meantime, believe in yourself with the confidence of a 5-year-old.